Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am very excited because I'm going to be sharing with you a project using an upcoming release from Essentials by Ellen. So these are the essential shapes for stitching. I'm just laying out the dies so you can have an idea of what is in the release. The dies come in a variety of shapes. So we have squares, circles, rectangles, and ovals. They actually coordinate with the already released Essential Shapes from Essentials by Ellen, which cuts different shapes into borders as well as the shapes themselves. So, I am very, very excited about this release because I love thread and fiber on cards, and we're going to have lots of fun with these dies today. There are many possibilities. You can actually nest one shape into the other to get frames like this, and these are the size of the holes. You can do circles as well. You can leave the cutouts in for added texture, or you can punch them out for stitching. Okay, so you can actually cut all the dies together for a background and put a blended piece behind it, and the colors will peek through, and to me it's really, really pretty. So there's lots you can do. These frames are from the Essential Shapes, and you can build them up to put on your card front or use them on your backgrounds. Okay, so let me just show you what you would get in a set. So in each set, you get 2 sets of dies, and they're already on magnetic sheets. They're actually all different sizes, so they coordinate with the Essential Shapes. You can actually find the one that fits, and it fits right on top like that. And once you cut the holes for stitching or whatever other technique, it's right along the border. Okay, so let me fix these quickly. All right, good. So you get 2 sets in every package, which is pretty good. So it's lots of dies, and that gives you lots of room to create different things, lots of possibilities and techniques that you can try. So for today's card, I'm actually going to be using the Essential Squares for stitching as well as the Essential Squares. So I've cut the pieces, the squares as well as the stitched squares for my card. I have cut them in 3 sizes, so you can find the exact sizes on the Ellen Hutson blog, which I will link below. Now I also have my 3 coordinating threads, and I'm going to use these sponges that you see to add a little color to the sides of the normal squares. So I'm using a stencil cream to add a bit of color along the edges. I realized at the end of doing the card that I didn't need to actually put color on all 3 squares. I just needed to put color on the top square. So if you're trying this project, you don't need to add color to all 3 squares because they all won't show when the card is finished. Now I'm threading my needle, and normally I choose to double my thread, and I would suggest that for this technique as well. You can use shorter pieces just to reduce the amount of tangles that you get, and adhere the thread to the back of your panel with a piece of packing tape. So I've pushed my thread to the front, And now I'm going to get an instrument, whether it be a pen or a dowel, which will help me form consistent loops across the edge of the card. So I've formed my first loop, or I'm forming it, and I'm then going to place the pen inside and pull the thread taut to the loop so that it will stay put. So for your second hole, loop the thread again and bring it back through the same hole that you did at first. So each hole will have thread going through it 2 times, and then you move on to the hole adjacent. So I continued this right across the top of the card, and when I finished one side, I simply slid the pen out and did the other side. So I have all my colors complete now, and I am just finishing up the last color. If your thread actually finishes before you finish a side, you can just tape it to the back and get another piece and continue as you were doing before. So I have all my pieces ready, and now I'm actually using silicone glue to glue the pre-cut squares onto the fringe panels. Now I'm doing this because I want to ensure that once I cut my fringe or cut my loops, the fringe won't move. So I'm using a glue that will actually stick to the fibers and prevent them from moving, and I'm applying these to both sides of the panel, ensuring that I tug a little at the threads while pressing down, just to make sure that they are all even and no threads are stuck under the square. So now we're actually ready to cut our pieces. So I'm using a pair of scissors, and I'm going to push it through the loops and cut, pulling the loops taut so that I'm cutting more centrally so that the fringe is equal on both sides. I use a fine tooth comb as well to kind of try and get the fringe separated and ensure that all the loops have been cut. Okay, so I'm actually pasting all the pieces together. I used my guillotine trimmer to get the edges a bit more straight, and now I'm stacking them in the order that they need to be. I use regular glue, but you can use foam tape if you'd like. So now I'm adhering some frames that I cut from white glitter cardstock using the essential shapes, the essential squares, and I'm attaching them in a kind of offset manner to get a geometric focal point. Okay, so now I'm attaching my sentiment with foam tape, and I'll attach it to the vellum before I attach the vellum to the card, just so I will know where I can place glue on the vellum. And that's it for this card. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out the Ellen Hutson blog to see all the details and to see more images. I'm so glad you stopped by. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as check out my Instagram if you'd like to see more of my cards. Let me know in the comments below what you would love to do with these dies, and I'll see you next time.